everybody, welcome back to Doozer Shop. I've got an update on some machining I'm preparing to do on the apron for the 17-inch Colchester lathe. Let me take you handheld and show you what I'm doing. All right, this is kind of what I got going on the SIP Jig Borer. Back up, giving you the big shot of the SIP. All right, so the Colchester 17-inch lathe. I'll show you what I got over here. You've seen before. I got the apron taken off of it, cleaning different things, and I had to replace some bushings for the power feed and lead screws. But I kind of show you here, it's got what should be, there's one still and the ball's gone, a Gitz ball top oiler, a push oiler. To get this one gets lubed to the ways, and these two and this one lube the apron. And I don't, let me get back, I don't like these too much because you get dirt in them. I'm always worried. I know you blow off some of the dirt before you put the oil in, but you risk blowing some dirt into the ball. I don't like them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these again with new ball oilers, but I don't really want to be relying on these for use. What I want to do is this, and let me show you. So there's the apron for the lathe, and I've got it mounted sideways on a 90-degree angle plate. And let me kind of show you. Inside there goes the gears in the apron for the power feed and cross feed and all that. And what we got here, okay, is there's like oil ports. And you see it lines up with that cross shaft bushing. This oil port lines up with that cross shaft bushing, and down on the line. The same for this side. These line up with the various bushings in the cast iron. So oil would be fed into those oilers in the apron and drip into these passages, and it would flow horizontally and get distributed. But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to flip you back. So this is the side of the apron, and here's the bolts, the two bolts that fasten it to the underside of the carriage, and there's a dowel pin. What I'm going to do is drill and tap at this edge and on the other side here for 1/8-inch pipe thread, so I can put a 90-degree flip top oiler, a big one, not a ball oiler, but a nice flip top oiler. And I'm going to drill in there, probably like a 1/4-inch drill after I get the drill and tap size. And I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to go in to create a well where I can access the oil will flow down into the 90-degree Gitz oiler, be tapped in here. I'm going to drill a hole in here and then connect another passage. I'm going to use a 1/8-inch end mill, and same thing here. I'm going to have another little well, and it's going to connect. So gravity will push down, fill up, and come back up, and will distribute these longitudinal passages to get me everything I need. So basically, I just want to do this so it's an easier way to oil, like here on the mill. SIP boring mill. Get my fingers out of the way. This is a flip top Gitz cup, and that's where I'm going to put. That's what I'm going to put here and here. So what I got here is all the shafts and cross pieces and handle shafts are off, and it has a nice milled face. This is planar with that, is planar with that. So what I'm bolting to with the angle plate is a whole bunch of milled features on this apron. And the reason I chose to put this, well, first of all, in the SIP jig boring mill here, from the table to the my spindle adapter, which is the ER40, is like 27 inches. So I still got yay much to put my drill bit, use my edge finder and tap. So I got plenty of Z height on this mill. Let me kind of show you, walk around here. I've got the angle plate bolted with some 1/2-inch studs into some of the cross-hole features that just happen to line up pretty well of the apron. Let me kind of go on this side. It's a good shot. There's let me bend down and kind of show you. You can see the bolts there. Oh, that was my knees. Kind of get you level with the table. So you can see the stud affixing the apron to the angle plate, and you can see underneath those are the other 2 mounting holes that bolt the apron to the carriage on the lathe. And you can see daylight. It's actually touching in the left-hand corner, but there's daylight all the way around. And actually on this side, I used some feeler gauges to set this up and get it in position. Let me throw this over here. There's a little height jack I was using to get it under there and get it leveled up before I bolted it to the angle plate. So no angle jacks are worth their weight in gold. So that's what I got, and I still got to strap the angle plate down to the mill table, but that's easy. And I'll get it all trimmed, you know, vertically and plumbed up. So that's what I got going on there. And you might ask me why I'm doing all this, where I could just, yeah, I could hand drill and tap holes and such, but I want it to be accurate. I know it doesn't have to be, but I've got this glorious Swiss jig boring mill, and you know, why not? This is actually gonna be the first job on the SIP Jig Borer that is gonna be, you know, I haven't really, other than cleaning it up, I haven't used it. So I'm gonna step back and say, yeah, this is the first job. And previously, you'll see, I'm gonna take a stroll over here. I know you hate wandering with the camera. I just had to get this. So this is not a piece pipe. This is a Gitz flip top oiler, and I previously did a video. You might remember. It fits in there. Actually, I could probably. Yeah, it screws in there. And man, I made this thing size on size, and I'm not there. It screws in. So I made this. See this passage here. This is actually where the half nut guide rod is, and it's sticky unless you really have it lubed up well. So I'm feeding this directly in to feed oil to the half nut mechanism, and you can see the half nut, the levers for withdrawing bosses, which the lever shaft goes in for withdrawing and applying the half nut. And you know, the low-hanging fruit is to just connect this passage to here, and it would do the same thing. But I really wanted to feed all these horizontal passages from the end here, and I figured the oil would take so long and have to fill all these passages up before it actually got to the most critical thing, which is this half nut lubrication area. So I decided to independently feed it with this 1/8" pipe thread pipe nipple here. So that's the plan. And seeing as the apron is open in the bottom, there's no lube in the apron because the power feed gears, you know, kind of nest and come up almost like a Norton quick change box in the bottom. So that's why I'm doing this. I really want to improve the lubrication system. This lathe is in really nice shape. The bed ways are good, the cross slide ways are good. This is a hardened bedway model, made for Colchester. No, made for Clausing by Colchester in England and shipped over. And all the, I've read, all the ones from the American market for Clausing had hard ways. So this one definitely does. So I really like this machine, 3-inch spindle bore. So that's why I'm taking extra care and making sure that the oiling system on this is really reliable. And so that's what I'm doing here, is making sure that this is all working better than factory, because you know, if you got nice flip cap oilers, you're going to oil them more than those stupid little ball push-in oiler things. So that's kind of what I got. And I wanted to show you guys my setup. You know, when I was kind of learning the machining trade and getting into making my own stuff for go-karts and mini bikes, I thought there's two things that I would never figure out and learn how to do and become good at. And one is fixturing odd shaped parts. If you can't put it in a vise, my brain was like, oh, you know, how are you going to bolt it to the table, and how are you going to fixture it and make it parallel? And over the years of seeing other people's setups and doing my own setups, I love bolting stuff to the table. I think the vise is almost like cheating on a milling machine. So, yeah. And another thing was dial indicator linkage, and sometimes it perplexes me still. Setting up the old different style linkage rods, and you got 1/4 inch and you know, 5/16 and 3/8 and all the linkage joints. Kind of rambling here, but those Noga arms are really sweet, and I'll show you what I mean. Like, okay, you know, here's, and this is only one piece of linkage here for this indicator, and I got, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around with you guys. I got another one. It's kind of upside down, but that works. But indicator linkage, you know, if you had a Noga arm, it makes it so much easier. It really, really does. I don't have any. I have not spent the 50 bucks on the cheap one or the 100 bucks on the expensive one. So I'm still, I need to. Time is precious, and yeah. So the other part, which I need to make bushings for, I got like, there's some bushings I gotta make, and there's the cross slide. You can see it's all over my workbench, and pieces, parts for a lot of projects. But here is, this is why the apron is open on the bottom. These are the power feed gears. This goes on the power feed rod, and there's a handle that comes out of here, and this swings up into position. And I rebuilt this. This was cracked and something was screwed up, I forget. It's been so long that this joker's been apart. But this thing's going back in. And actually, I did a video of boring these on the Gorton. If you guys want to look back, I did a video after I brazed it. I rebored it. So anyhow, still got the Gorton project. That's coming up. Didn't forget about you guys. I don't know, I've been playing around. I got a newer, bigger air compressor. I still got a nice big 5-horse one upstairs. But I've been kind of playing with this because I got it at a garage sale and fixed it up a little bit for myself. So that's what I got going on. I will show more video when I get some of the machining started on the apron for the Colchester lathe. But that's the oiling system modifications that I'm planning on doing, just because I like the Gitz flip top oilers, because it's going to be just more convenient. So just a quick update, and I promise some more video on the actual machining on the SIP Jig Borer. I'm very excited to use it. Until next time, Doozer shop.